Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Express Frame. For years and years, myself and the guys on the show have been taking our sports memorabilia, artwork, magazines, photos, you name it, to Express Frame. They turn a simple keepsake into a museum-quality display. I used them this week. They are fantastic. Right at the Common Shopping Center, North Peters Road, Express Frame. All right, let's put the schedule back up. We're going to do this very quickly. Gentlemen, ESPN's FPI rating system, which I always make fun of, it's goofy. Their system's nonsense if you ever follow it. They say 4 and 6 for the Volunteers this year. What are you going with? What's your projection? And I'll let you choose. We'll change things right up until September as developments happen. But what's your first blush record projection? Josh Ward, very quickly.
Mine is very boring, 5-5, and I think that's going to be just below where the Vegas number is or the offshore numbers that I saw this week, but 5-5.
So what you're saying is you hate the Vols?
That is the statement, yeah.
5
but
and 5.
Not as much as ESPN's FPI.
That's right. That is an ESPN. All right.
Unlike Josh, I don't hate the Vols. Actually, if I'm allowed to pick after the South Carolina game, if they win that South Carolina game, I'm going to say 6-4. If they lose the South Carolina game, I'm going to say 4-6.
Oh, big swing game. Okay.
I'll say 6-4. I think they'll win the games they're supposed to. They'll lose the games they're supposed to, except for one. I think they'll either get A&M or Auburn. It might be A&M, but I like the way the schedule lays out. And I'm still considering Cade Mays right now until we know that he's absolutely not going to be a part of that offensive line.
Okay. I'm going to go 5-5, but not the way people think. All right. I'm going to take South Carolina to beat Tennessee. The reason is Tennessee has lost 6 out of 7 at South Carolina. The one game they won was in overtime, 45-42. They always struggle over there. They've struggled with Muschamp until last year when everything broke their way in that game. I don't like opening on the road. If that game were here, I'd take Tennessee. Over there, I'm concerned about it. I think they steal one, though, at Auburn. I don't think Auburn's going to be up to snuff this year. I also think you get them the week before the Iron Bowl, they may be looking ahead to Alabama and not looking at you. Mm-hmm. So I think you may slip against South Carolina early, make up for it against Auburn late, which if you're going to do it, that's the way to do it, win the ones late. But I think 5-5, which in a normal year you're saying 5-5. But against this schedule, that's a good year. I don't think fans will be applauding it. I don't think it would be a huge step forward for the program. But I think considering we were looking at probably 8-4 this year, in a normal year where you're giving them lollipops to play, I think 5-5, this should be a good year.
I think the expectation is going to be to get one of those signature wins that some of those coaches were alluding to, and then it's how you win or lose those games. If they have a big coaching decision like Butch did against Oklahoma and Florida to keep you from getting a better record, that will be brought up and that will have influence with the fans.
The South Carolina's the swing game at the first is kind of interesting. I was surprised you made it that big of a 6-4, 4-6.
I think it'll tell you a lot. I mean, teams develop a lot, of course, but if they go out there and they win by 3 touchdowns, just dominate South Carolina, I think there's a good chance at Tennessee. I think Tennessee, their ceiling's pretty high this year. I think their floor is not very low. I think their talent level the roster just looks a lot better.
Kentucky's big too. In between
Kentucky
Georgia and Bama, Tennessee players have to mentally get up for that game because Kentucky will.
Yeah, and I'll say this. I'll say 5-5. I don't really view 4-6 as much of a possibility. I'm 5-5, 6-4. I don't see 4-6. I don't see 7-3. I'm 5-5 or 6-4. If I made you pick a second one,
I would go 6-4.
You've already given me a range.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I gave it 6-4, so 5-5 would be the
You'd go 5-5 rather than 7-3.
Right.
Okay.
I'm also not going to be the most hated guy in this segment, so I couldn't go 4-6.
Very good. Thanks to these guys. Thanks to you, and thanks to our sponsors. Get out and visit them. Football season's here. We're going to be talking football 90 minutes every Sunday. See you next week right back here on the Sports Source.